for those of us nga pwede, nga as always, maka-on sa camera, may I ask you to switch it on for me? Especially because this afternoon, again, naatay ato ang discussion for our last lesson, not only for the quarter, last lesson na ninato for the school year. So what that means, 9H, is that this is going to be our last week sa values nga nag-discussion or nga nag-lesson ta. Remaining meetings nato we have left, naka-allocate siya for other things na we need to do, like our PT. Okay, so anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just like what I said this afternoon, I would like to start my discussion on the second and last topic nato for the quarter. And this lesson, by the way, is somehow related to our previous lesson on In Search of the Self, the one that we had last week. Related siya ato nga topic, or more specifically, when I talked about the third self-enriching experience of confronting ourselves with the question, what am I meant to be? So, just to summarize lang very briefly ang point atong In Search of the Self. So, that topic, manggod nato, taught us that our life experiences are very good sources of lessons. Meaning, naatay mga pang-agian, naatay maagian, naatay naagian na experiences in life, and if only we would really take the time na to think about them, reflect on them rather, always gyud di ay daw na nga in every experience we have, good or bad, naa gyud di ay tay dapat matun-an ani nila. Lessons about life, lesson siguro about relationship imong natun-an, lesson about God, or naapoy instances nga naatay maagian nga mas naatay daghan ma-learn na lessons about ourselves. And one of the life experiences that we are referring to here, an experience nga makatabang sa ato, nga mas masabtan and mas mailhan ato ang self, is this experience of having dreams and ambitions. So mauning what am I meant to be? Now, this was the part of our lesson, 9H, na wherein I talked about the importance of knowing what we are meant to be. Na sa kinabuhi di ay importante na naagyud tay ambisyon, naatay dreams or naatay goals, or most importantly, importante di ay nga bahalag dili karon. Soon in life, important di ay nga makabaluta sa ato ang purpose. Okay, it is when we know, manggod, what we are really meant to be. And by that meaning, it's only when mabaw-an nato unsa gyud di ay ato ang purpose that makes us truly a human being. Precisely because naatay dreams, precisely because naatay gusto ma-attain in life, then of course we are motivated to really prepare ourselves and to really try to improve as a person kay naaman tay gusto in life, right? So mootong tawag sa ato human being kay it's realizing na since na ako'y gusto ma-happen sa ako ang life, then I have to prepare myself in such a way nga mo-arrive ko sa level where I need to be. And the level where we need to be is dapat hinay-hinay mo improve ta until we become that person who is now ready to carry out his or her purpose in life. So for our last topic, therefore, 9H, we will be talking about man's search for purpose. Of course, the word man is used in our topic title, but this is not to say nga mga lalaki lang ang naay pulos. This is not to say nga ang mga babae walay pulos. So by man here, we are referring not just, strictly to men. Man here, ano ni siya, used loosely. Man, we are really referring here to everyone, both men and women and everyone else in between. Okay, so therefore, what this title suggests, 9H, man's search for purpose. This suggests that every person di ay has a purpose. Tanan tao di ay mutuo man ka sa mudili, mutuo ka man or sa dili, right? kita tanan na adi ay purpose. And that part of what we are searching for, when we are searching for ourselves, is our purpose pudi ay. Meaning, searching for ourselves is not only us putting in effort to know and understand who we are, pero part di ay atong in search of the self is to know about what we're here for. Gusto part di ay sa pag-search nato sa ato ang kaugalingon, dapat po di ay mabaw-an nato why we're here or what these two are. Part di ay sa pag-search nato sa ato ang kaugalingon, part di ay ana is pangitaon or mabaw-an nato ato ang purpose. Okay? And siguro 9H, by now, we already know that the life question that will allow us to understand ourselves better, ato ning gidiscuss last week, was the question, who am I? Kay, in who am I? In attempting to answer this question, mo arrive ta or makakuha tag answers that will help us understand and realize how different and unique we are from everybody else. So, ang answers nga ato ang makam up with when we make an attempt to answer who am I, mauni sila ang answers nga ato ang ginapangita para mas masabda nato kung kinsa gyud di ay ta. And because part of knowing who we are is also knowing what our purpose in life is. So the life questions, therefore, that would also help us in our search for our purpose are the questions, why am I here? Or why do I exist? Nganong na ako dire? O nganong na ako? Nganong ga-exist ko? Kay, in asking ourselves, 9H, these important life questions, then we are prompting ourselves to go look for our purpose. And siguro lang dayo, 9H, just to help us understand better what purpose really is. Kay teacher, at the beginning of the discussion, di na namo maihap ikapila ka nagingon sa word na purpose. So, what exactly is purpose? And nganong kailangan, nganong necessary nga mabaw-an nato na in life? But before siguro 9H, I'll go there. Before I'll answer those questions, o si purpose, o nganong kailangan siya nato mabaw-an. Let us first talk about one of the school themes that Corpus Christi has had. Like many of us know, or at least for those of you who've been with CCS for a good number of years, then you would know, diba, that every school year or at the beginning of each school year, gina-introduce yun na sa tanan unsa ang CCS nga theme for the school year. For this school year, our theme is chosen, commissioned, sent, letting his banners fly. Pero naay isa ka specific na school theme from way back. Okay? Ang school theme nato atong school year 2011 and 2012. So, the school theme that I am referring to was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, feeling na ako nag-skwela na mo ani. Correct me if I'm murag nag-skwela na mo ani, pero murag preschool, kinder, murag naara diha. So, this was from way back. So, I'm pretty sure dili pa siguro mo kadumdum unsa to ato ang theme. So, just so we are reminded, or sa mga wala kabalo, lagi sure corpus na ko ana, pero nag-grade 9 na lang ko siya, o kabalo unsa ang theme atong kinder ko siya. 2011 and 2012 na theme nato 9H was actually living the mission. Of course, you were probably too young to even remember what the theme was. So, dili pod ko mag-expect nga kasabot mo ani nga theme. Kay wala gani ninyo na dumduman, for sure wala po ninyo nasabtan, right? So, part of what we will try to do this afternoon is I would like for us to briefly talk about it. And after we do, I will then relate nganong nagstorya ta aning living the mission and how it's related to our topic yun on purpose. Okay, so to understand what this theme means, let us first dissect it, okay, para masabta nato siya. So let us talk about what the words mission and living even mean. Okay, in understanding what these two are, magets din nato unsa din ang living the mission. So let's start with the word mission. Okay? Mission. So I'd like to think kita tanan na atay atong own understanding of what it is. For sure, even if I would ask you now to write it sa ato ang public chat, ako ang gina-anticipate na inyong answer is to have a mission, is to have a goal, to have an objective, an end. I'm pretty sure mauni ang ato ang, kay after all, mao gina ang common pod nga understanding of what a mission is. Ang kailangan ma-achieve, ang imuhang end goal, ang imuhang end game, ang imuhang objective, mao na ang mission. Right? But siguro ang ako is, instead na ipaasta mo how you understand what the word means, siguro what I would like for you to do is this. Like, if you hear the word mission, say imagery, or say imuhang ma-visualize sa imuhang mind. When you hear the word mission, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if ako lang ba ang weirdo or what have you, but kung ako lang, 9H, personally, when I hear the word mission, probably because I easily associate the word with the action film na Mission Impossible. I don't know if you've seen that. Basta maka-hear kog mission, maka-think kog Mission Impossible. So, every time I hear the word mission, what I see, ang imagery nga ako ang kakakita sa akong mind are kanang mga, action films. Like, I think of, secret agents, I think of spies, mga CIA, military, special forces, mga undercover detectives. Your typical nga action films. Mao ang musulod sa ako ang utok. Kung maka-hear ko og word na mission, mura gira-gira, away-away, etc. So, example ka na nga imagery. In these films, okay? Let's say kanang military or mga special forces. Okay, mga SWAT, mga Navy SEAL, etc., etc. We all know, or maybe not all of us know this, but siguro some of us know nga, sa military or special forces, more specifically, how a unit of soldiers, group of soldiers, or unit of soldiers are handpicked or chosen, depends largely on the mission at hand. Like, meaning ana 9H is that ang commander-in-chief, I don't know if that's what they call that. Commander-in-chief, man siguro ang tawag ng mga leader nila. But anyway, ang commanding officer, not commander-in-chief, commanding officer rather, knows kung mupili siya og unit or group of men nga iyahang ipadala to do a particular mission, iyahan ang i-handpick, iyahan ang pilion in such a way nga ang mga tao rather, nga iyahang ipadala, na ay capacity or capable of carrying out the mission. Like, siguro whether the mission is, for example, like, ang mission is to detonate a bomb or ang mission ba is to terminate an opponent na ipatyon nga terrorist or to extract a hostage or kidnap victim. Like, di ba, we just know nga for each mission requires different types of trained special forces. I mean, you will not send out the bomb squad. Bomb squad imong ipadala pero ang mission kay naay i-save or i-rescue nga kidnap victim. Murag dili match. Kaya di ba, of course, even though kaning mga members sa bomb squad, they're really good, maayo gid ni sila, but they don't have the right training to carry out the mission of rescuing a kidnap victim. The same way nga, dili siguro nimo ipadala ang Navy SEALs to detonate a bomb. Kay dili man na mao ang ilahang specialization. That's why these special forces undergo different trainings because they specialize in different missions. Ang bomb squad, what they specialize in is kana mag-detonate og bombs, etc. So, in short, what's the point that I'm trying to make here, 9H? In short, therefore, the people who are asked to do the mission are those who have the skills for it. Dili ka pilion, dili ka ipadala, dili ihatag sa imo ang mission if you don't have the skills for it, or if that's something you cannot do only because wala kay training for that or you don't have the skills for it. So kana nga example nga ako ang gi-give, 9H, diha nato pwede makuha ang ato ang definition of what a mission really is. Now, we can therefore say that a mission, therefore, We can therefore say that a mission, di ay, is an assigned task. A mission is an assigned responsibility, assigned duty. So, operative word sa definition nato sa mission di ay is the word assigned. Okay? Assigned task, assigned siya nga responsibility, or assigned siya nga duty. Meaning 9H, a mission di ay is not just any task, any responsibility, or any duty given to just anybody. Ang mission di ay, it is something that is, specifically assigned or specifically given to a person. And nganong gi-assign siya, nganong gihatagan siya ato nga mission, because again, the person is equipped with the skills necessary to carry out that mission. Okay, so siguro, hopefully with that, actually simple ra. Maura na good actually ang definition of what a mission really is. Something that's assigned to you, and why it was assigned to you, because the one giving that assignment to you knows that you could carry it out. So the next question is, like, teacher, what do missions have to do with me? Labot na ako aning missions, teacher. But the thing here, 9H, is that with missions, you do not have to be at a certain age to have it. Like, wala lang siguro po ninyo na-realize, but even people your age, kamo, naa mo actually mga mission. Wala lang ninyo, siguro dili lang nato sila gina-label as missions, pero actually naa mo yung missions yun. And for us to know what they are, how do I know, teacher, what my missions in life are? We simply need to know lang our different roles in life. Because knowing our different roles in life will determine what responsibilities or duties po di ay that I have. So, in short, what I'm trying to say, 9H, is that in knowing what our roles are in life, as long as kabalo ka sa imuhang role, then expected ka nga kabalo ka sa responsibilities or duties expected of you because naakaana nga role. Like, what roles are we talking about here, teacher? Like, for example, kitang tanan, anak ta. Your role as a son or daughter, or as a child to your parents. Like, what's the duty good or responsibility of a child to his or her parents? Of course, aside anang sugoon ta, hatagatag chores, etc., ipagtrapo sa, ipabahog sa mga iro nato, ipatrapo sa ilang mga tae, ipabunyag sa iyahang cactus. So, daghan ta, like, again, naataani nga mga chores. But really, the one thing that would encapsulate all of the things that, our parents ask us to do, na ang main responsibility rather, of a child to his or her parents, is to obey. Diba? Maura gyud na. Mo-obey ta mo, follow lang ta. Na if our parents decide nga dili na sila ka-afford og private, mag-public ta, wala tay choice. We follow ta, public ta. They decide pila ato ang baon. Sometimes they decide who we're friends with, ayaw na siya. Like, diba, naa sila'y say or input most of the time sa ato ang life, especially sa inyong nga age, kay minor pa. And you know what? Kapoy man, samok man, but unfortunately, that's the responsibility. That's what comes with being a son or daughter, especially because minor pa mo. Of course, that's not for the entire life nimo. Of course, until you reach an age that you're old enough to look after yourself. Of course, kung college graduate na ka, you have your own job. Although na sa ato ang culture diri sa Pilipinas, even though minyo na ang anak, butan pagyahapon sa parents. So anyway, ano po siya? Depende po siya sa culture, but really, unsa gid unta, while we're growing up, we obey our parents and again, allow them, our parents and guardians, to raise us until maabot sa point sa ato ang life nga kaya na nato. So, bottom line, ang imuha di ang role or ang imuha di ang responsibility or task or duty sa imong parents kay anak ka Manila. Whether you like it or not, obey. Maura gyud na imuhang main nga role sa ilahang life for now. Another, kanang inyong gabuhaton karon, kining inyong role as a student. daghan man ta roles, right? Anak ta, after 5 ay 1 to 5 estudyante ka, 5 onwards anak ka, like diba daghan ta roles. So as a student, like what's the role of a student? Actually, ang role ra gyud sa student is to learn. Bonus na lang nang na-honor ka. Because again, kung ma-honor ka, it only shows that you did not only, study hard, you studied so hard nga ni surpass ka sa standard of what it means to be an excellent student. That's why you are given that, recognition at the end of the school year, i-reward ka for your efforts. But it doesn't mean nga ang katong wala na honor, dili to sila, nga wala nila gibuhat ilang role as a student. Like, for example ako, bahalag, even though my grades don't show it, 80 ra ni sila tanang teacher, average 80 ra akong grado. But, you know what? Just because 80, it doesn't mean wala ko'y natunan. Mubo man akong grado, probably because I'm not the type of student nga mutuon gid basta LT, I'm not the type of student nga mutuon gid basta sa exam. But just because dili ko hardworking as student, it doesn't mean wala ko'y natunan. Dili lang ko gihan, dili lang ko effort, dili lang ko diligent na student, but it doesn't mean wala ko'y natunan. So a student, therefore, ang role ninyo is to learn. Kaya sometimes, ang good na atay misconception nga, ay kay estudyante kung honor ka, kung dagko ka grado. I mean, kung ang student ay dagko grado, dapat ang base grade nato is 99, right? Pero nga 75 man. Although, I'm not here to kay honors class ra ba mo. I'm not saying ayaw mo pa ning kamot. Kaya pwede ra ko di ma-honor ma. That's not my point at all. Ang ako lang is, don't be too hard on yourself pod. Nga really, sometimes, nga nung maning kamot, it's again, most of the time, it's to please our parents. Or it's because they would always expect nga ma-honor ko. So, mauna ang ato ang motivation for wanting to do good. Pero remind yourself lang na if maupot ka sa point na it's too much, ang consolation, like, remind yourself lang na bahalag dili ko ma-honor or bahalag third ko and my parents wanted me nga first. You know what? Don't be too hard on yourself kay third ra. Because for as long as you could say to yourself, but you know what? Third, pero I know na amang pudyog ko'y natunan and I know ready ko for grade 10. And meaning, you did your part. Diba? You did your task, you did your responsibility as a grade 9 student to prepare yourself for grade 10. So siguro, that's what my point is. Like in terms sa inyong role as a student. Basta kay nakatuon lang mo, okay na siya. So, or unsa pa inyong other roles. Like for example, athlete. Of course, kay athlete ka man, then you have the responsibility, of course, to train. Walay athlete ka na lang man, ayaw gid pagpabanga-banga. Right? Kay athlete ka man, before ka maka-experience of success, ang athlete is dili na nga para magkuha lang ka sige o gold medal. Of course, before ka maka-get o gold medal, mo train ka. So, part sa imong responsibility is to train hard, listen to your coach well, work with your teammates, and we'll see ahataman ang inyong effort to represent the school or to represent the team that you're representing well. So, actually, 9H, daghan ta roles. Naapay imuhang role as a child of God, role nimo as a brother or sister, role nimo as a cousin. Daghan ka, like again, of course, I don't want to go through each roles in life, daghan kaayo. But kung SK ka di sa inyong barangay, then kana role po na nimo na kay responsibility because you are an elected nga SK nga officer. So, again, daghan ta roles. And it's only when my point here, Dayan, is that we will know what our missions are, we will know what our responsibilities are. Ayaran nimo mabawaan if to begin with aware pod ka unsa pod gyud di ay ang imuhang roles in life right now. Okay, but the thing 9H is this. Living the mission, okay, does not simply mean to do our responsibilities and duties. Like, so now that I'm more aware, teacher, what my responsibilities are. So, does living the mission tell me nga buhaton ako sila? Dili lang nga buhaton nimo sila. Living the mission, what it truly means is that we do our responsibilities, we carry them out well. Living the I is to live out. Live out is i-implement, to act on it, buhaton. Or in simpler terms rather, to do our missions. Buhaton ang responsibilities. But living the mission, na-change siya because gi-add nato ang word nga well. There's a difference 9H between doing something and doing something well. Like, doing something, kung binisayo nato, is gibuhat. Right? But doing something well means gitarong. So, again, listen to it closely, na imong gibuhat versus imuhang gitarong. Just to understand my point. And siguro sa mga pipilar nga probably wala na gets ang difference. Like, let me give an example. Example, you were asked to wash dishes. Like, why are we asked to wash dishes? Like, we wash dishes, of course, to wash them clean. Maunang ato ang sabunan, mauna atong limpyuhan, waswasan, di ba? Ikapila gid na sabon-sabon hangtod mawala ang sebo. Kay nga naman, ang whole point nganong kailangan hugasan ang ato ang mga utensils, plato, etc. para malimpyo. So, gibuhat nimo, imuhang gihugasan pero wala sabon. Kay nga naman, basta kay mahugasan lang kunuhay. So, on mong tubig, waswasan lang, way sabon-sabon. Right? But question is, did you actually do the responsibility? Nabuhat ba nimo ang dapat gipabuhat? Di ba wala? Kaya nga naman, wala man nalimpyo ang plato. Nga nung wala nalimpyo ang plato? Because wala man nimo sabone. You know what I mean? So, kana lang pinaagi lang anak nga basic nga example, but hopefully with that na gets nato nga naa di ay difference ang output kung buhaton lang versus tarungon. And living the mission therefore reminds us that in all of our responsibilities and duties, now that hopefully we're more aware of them, we are reminded na I should not just do them, but I should do them well. Or in short, living the mission, 9H, reminds us that to constantly give our very best at all times. Diba? Even our CCS, lifelong vow, reminds us of this. Lifelong vow nato kay to choose the highest good, to commit myself to what is right and true, and lastly, to strive to give my very best at all times. And siguro aside from, emphasis sa word na best, siguro dapat na apo di ay daw emphasis ang words nga at all times. Nga living the mission reminds us na we need to train ourselves to constantly do our best. Do our best not only when we feel like it. Kinaamay uban na ako sa mood magbuhat sa PT or na ako sa mood magtuon. So ayara ka magtarong. But living the mission is whether you're in the mood for it or not, because gihatag na sa imo nga responsibility, then you're expected to do that well. Do our best not only when we like the subject or the teacher. Kaya na uban, dili bet ang teacher, kapuya sa subject, hasulan sa subject, so dili magtaro. Do our best whether you like it or not, the subject teacher or not, the subject itself or not, maningkamot nga mag-strive gihapon nga paningkamot. Or lastly, not only when we like the role, do our best even though you don't like the role. Kaya nayuban sa ato, effort kaayo sa pagka-athlete, right? MVP siya, absent, di ba? Willing gid absinan ang klase kay nagi siya dula dito. Pero iya ding pabayaan ang iyang pagka-estudyante. Right? So, do our best at all times. Not only when you feel like it, not only because you like the particular thing, or not only because you like the role. At all times is at all times, sa tanang panahon. Okay? Although I understand, teacher, kalisod sab kaayo anang imuhang gipabuhat sa ako. Pero ani lang, of course, it's not fun. Aware ko na it's not fun, doing household chores. Dili lingaw magtuon, dili lingaw magsigig buhat PT, dili lingaw magsigig attend online classes, etc. But you know what? If think of it this way, murag, if I needed to do them to better prepare myself for my purpose, then so be it. Right? Like, I know these things are very tiring to do. Kapoy kaayo na sila. I know that. But the consolation there is, salig lang pod na soon enough, you'll no longer have to do them. Okay? Mahuman ra na. Because for sure, God did not create you for the purpose of just doing chores. Siguro wala ka gibuhat sa Ginoo and imuhang purpose in life is maghugasa kag plato sa inyong balay. Not at all. But these are the things na kailangan nato buhaton now. Kaya nga naman, part man siya sa atong role sa pamilya. Nga muhugas gyud tag plato tanan, right? Naagid tay chores whether we like it or not. So, mahuman na ni sinatanan, and for sure, gi-create na ni God for something greater, for something bigger. And what that is, we call our purpose. Okay? Purpose is quite literally the reason why something exists or created. Actually, mauna ang simple nga definition of what purpose is. Ang reason daw why something exists, ang reason nga nung gibuhat ang isa ka butang. So, what this teaches us, 9H, is that when something is created, kay gi-create man siya, or kay gibuhat man siya, then naagid na siya reason nga nung gi-create siya, naagid na reason nga nung gibuhat siya. And this reason is what we call as the purpose. Like, for example, like, I don't know if you could see it, but this chair that I am sitting on, you know, I am sitting on it, of course, and of course, kining mga bangko na ani sila'y purpose. What's the purpose of a chair? Of course, for it to be sat on. Ganong kailangan tamuling ko ng bangko so that we'd be comfortable, right? And whatever that is that we needed to do in front of the table or in front of the computer. Like, teacher, pwede man mag-classic at sure nga way bangko. Actually, pwede po, right? But it would be too difficult for me nga yakap ko, right? Kaya man noon ako mag-teach, but I'd be more comfortable if naglingkod ko. So, chairs were created so that if you need it, if you need to feel comfortable, kay need buhaton, and you need to be comfortable while doing it, then sit on a chair, right? So, this reason proves that chairs do have a use. This reason proves that chairs do have a purpose. So, my point here, 9H, is that there is purpose, GDI, to literally anything that exists. Like, I don't know where you are right now, naaba ka sa inyong kusina, naaba ka sa inyong room, sa inyong living room, computer room, study room, library, kung naamoy library, but I dare you, like, try to take a good look around where you are and look for at least one thing nga imuhang makita nga walay pulos. Like, what I have around me, like I can see my slippers. Na ipulos akong slippers, my curtains, my lampshade, my fan next to me, my external monitor, my makeup bag. Everything that I see around me na I use. And not only the things that I see, even for the things that I do not see. Like, example, air. Right? Ang hangin dili man gid na nato makita, but how do we know that it exists? Kaya di ba? The reason why something exists, it doesn't mean ang purpose di ay dili lang nga, naay purpose lang ang mga butang nga atong makita. No. Purpose is for as long as it exists, whether we see it or not, kay ga-exist siya, then naa siya'y purpose. Such as air. We don't see it, but we know it exists because we feel it around us. And unsay pulos sa air, of course, without it, mga matay tang tanan. So I guess that's the point. Na literally, tanan atong kakita, even for the things that we do not see, naagyo di ay pulos. And siguro speaking of purpose, okay? What I want to do next is I want to talk about a few useful inventions. And I will explain to the class later on nga nung nastoryahan din nato. And I say useful ni sila because, again, they greatly help our lives today. First na invention that I want to talk about with the class is the guy, John W. Hetrick. Si John Hetrick, I don't know if you can figure it out, but what you're seeing in front of you, kining, I don't know if you could please follow. Kini ako ang laser. I don't know if you could figure it out, but what the guy invented is actually called the airbag. Okay? For those of us who are not familiar with it, it says here that an airbag is a vehicle occupant restraint system using a bag designed to inflate extremely quickly, then quickly deflate during a collision or In simpler terms or in simpler definition or simple way of putting it, an airbag di ay is an air, is a cushion nga mo-inflate siya with air. Uh, and this airbag is built into the interior, naa siya sa sulod sa sakyanan. Normally, ang naalay airbag, ang kining front nga driver, ay of course, wala may back nga driver. Ang driver's seat in front and the front passenger seat. Ang sa driver's side, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, normally naka-install ang airbag sa may steering wheel and ang sa front passenger naa sa may dashboard. And what it does, although na-explain naman here, is simbako, the car gets into a collision. Ang airbag automatically programmed to expand. Okay? Mo expand siya para, of course, during a collision, normal good because of force and motion, etc. Ang lawas or at least ang upper body sa tao, mabangga good sa whatever's in front of it, right? And of course, if mabangga ka sa dashboard, there's a good chance na ay severe na consequences. That's why with the airbag, at least hangin ang musalo sa imuha, and there's a good chance nga dili ka na amang kay mabatian but dili severe. So the use of an airbag, of course, is to save the lives of the driver and the front passenger Another, we also have si Willis H. Carrier. Of course, I don't know if you're familiar, but ang last name pa lang niya mismo, I'd like to think familiar na. We see mga appliances nga ang brand kay Carrier. Most of the time, basta Carrier, what it is an air conditioner, right? For sure, naiuban sa ato dili ang brand sa inyong aircon kay Carrier. Okay? An air conditioner, of course, is a machine that treats air via a refrigeration cycle in which warm air is removed and then replaced with cooler air. So what's the use or what's the purpose of an aircon? Of course, we install that in our rooms. We use it for, cooling and para mas komportable ta, especially if humid or especially if igang. And aircons rather are expensive, right? It would depend on the number of horsepower. It depends, mas mahal if split type, mas barato if window type. But either way, air conditioners are typically expensive. But why do we buy them anyway? Mupalit gyapon ta bahalag mahal because of what it could do. Right? Kay lahi ra gyud pwede man mag-electric fan pero lahi gyud ang kabugnaw if aircon. Mas komportable, mas lalom lang gyud, mas lami lang gyud atong tulog if aircon. So that alone proves nga why would we be willing to spend, thousands and thousands of pesos para lang sa aircon if wala day siya pulos. So the fact nga willing ta mo palit og 30K-ish at least minimum, right? Nga aircon, willing ka mo gastog 30K for something nga walay pulos, then imposible. The fact nga willing ka mo spend og 30K must mean whatever that is you're buying, naagid siguro siya dako nga purpose or use para sa imuha. Okay, and lastly, we have here kini si Johann Zahn. Johann Zahn, ako lang i-clarify. I don't know if you could also figure out kining iyahang na-invent. Johann Zahn actually came up with the original design of how a camera would work. Now, sorry. Ako lang i-clarify. Johann Zahn was not the first person to build an actual camera, pero siya to ang nag-come up with the initial nga design of how it would work. Meaning, without his design, dili mabuhat ang camera. Okay, so and what's the use of cameras? Of course, cameras are very useful because we use that to take pictures. And nganong useful sa ato ang pictures? Of course, pwede man gud unta nga walay pictures. Like let's just say na ay important ka life event from way back. Pwede pa man nato gud badumduman teacher even without the pictures. Of course, badumduman nato. Nga lagi no lingaw kay tong nilarga mi ato, mao ni ang gibuhat, I was with this person. Badumduman nato. But it's a different experience po. If naatay camera and we took pictures of that moment, of that event, or whatever that was, You take pictures of it so that in the future, you could look back on it. You have something that you could look at that will allow you to remember, the memories and the events more vividly. Mas madumduman lang nato, mas ma-recall lang nato tungod kay naatay pictures pag yun, gatan-awon. So again, even camera, because it could produce pictures, naagyahapon siya'y matabang, naagyahapon siya'y purpose sa ato ang kinabuhi. Now, why I wanted to talk about these inventors, 9H, it's because, for sure, these inventors invented what they invented. Kini silang tulo, kung unsa man ni ilahang na invent, right? They did that kay naa sila good reason for doing so. And again, the world became a better place because of their inventions. Tungod kay naay airbags, driving has become safer, right? Tungod kay naay airbags, daghan lives karon na save tungod kay ga-exist na ni. The same way na places rather are now more comfortable or cozier tungod kay naatay mga aircon. And most importantly, kining camera, ato ang mga important or even ordinary nato nga mga moments, life moments, ma-immortalize na nato because naanatay camera. So, ang ilahang na-create, ang ilahang na-invent, dako siya og na-contribute sa ato ang lives karon. And I want to continue by saying this, Dayon, na for sure, Dayon, 9H, these inventors first started with an idea or with a purpose in mind prior to them actually making or developing their inventions. What I mean by that is that precisely because naa sila'y gusto to create, nag-start sila first with an idea, and that idea led them to creating their invention. Meaning, no wise inventor, 9H, would create something first and then assign it a purpose later. Meaning, walay wise inventor nga pabali ba, na kay buhaton una, ay din mo i-figure out unsay purpose niya. Like, for example, phone. Nagbuhat kadaan og phone, right? And then, kini kutsara ni siya. Dili, di ba? Kung naakay buhaton, mag-start you ka always ka, gusto ko mubuhat og ani. Then you create it. You don't create something first, and then magbuot din ka what it could do. Magbuot din ka sa iyahang purpose. So it's always nga, mag-start ta with an idea, with a purpose, I have buhaton. Right? So, what's the point that I'm trying to make here? Now, ang point di ay nato, ani, is this, that if all things have a purpose, right? Things that I see, even the things that I do not see, naa di ay purpose tanan. Then, siguro what that tells me is, if ang bangko, if ang hangin, if ang abog na ay purpose, samot na pud siguro ko nga tao. Right? And siguro sa ato nga case, how did we come to be? Nganong naata diri karon? Of course, we exist with the help of our biological nga parents. Like, literally, without our biological parents, we wouldn't be here. Right? Kaya kisa may literally mubuhat sa ato. So in that sense, yes, our biological parents are, partly the reason why nganong naata diri karon. Without them, dili ta mabuhat. But if we really think about it, like, whose idea or purpose was it really? Diba? If you think about it, nganong na ako diri karon through my parents, nganong na ako diri karon, but I know that it was God's idea, nganong gi-create ko niya. Like, kumbaga, let's look at it this way na. Our parents were merely used as instruments. Gigamit sa Ginoo, right? Our biological mother, our biological father, gigamit sa Ginoo to create somebody like you. But it was God's idea to create someone like you, but He had to make use of our biological parents para moabot ta here. So, in that sense, or in that context, we could say, therefore, that God is our maker, God is our creator, or in the context of our discussion, we consider God to be our inventor. Na siguro, even before we were conceived, even before we were born, or even before actually our parents met, wala pa nag-meet atong biological parents, God already had an idea or a purpose in mind for you. Kaya otherwise, kung wala kay pulos, dili unta ka matao, dili unta ka mo exist. And siguro I just wanted to point that out to remind everyone, because I know na ay uban sa ato who do not see their value. Na feeling niya wala siya pulos, sure pwede ra gyud mamatay ko, sure di ra mausab ang kalibutan. Kanang gamay kaayo ilang pananaw silang self, na feeling nila pwede ra nga wala sila. And you know what? The fact that you were created, the fact that you're here tells you actually na kay purpose. And siguro why you feel that way about yourself, probably tungod kay wala pa nimo nakita ang imong purpose. But the moment you know what that is, siguro mas ma-appreciate nimo imong self more. And siguro kung naalay image that would best explain how we see ourselves today, probably mura taaning patatas. Okay? Ga-emote nga patatas. Like today, you ignore me because I'm potato. One day, I'll be French fries and you'll crave for me. Right? So, which is true, right? Na kining patatas, kung patatas lang siya, murag wala siya value. Right? Like, when we open our refrigerator and when we see potatoes, dili ta maisang nga, wow, patatas. We don't really get excited over, seeing a potato. But how about when we see French fries? Diba ma-excite, wow, French fries, mangayo ko be. But if you think about it, they're the same thing. And siguro where we are in our life right now, kita pa ning patatas. Siguro atong pamati sa atong self, valueless, worthless. But give it time, continue lang with your journey, soon enough you'll see your worth, na kay potential to be French fries. But then again, you'll get here, you'll only see your worth again if you just continue with your journey until such a time, until mo arrive ka, nga ma-discover na gyud nimo what your purpose in life really is. Okay, so siguro I'd like to end my discussion for this session here. Tomorrow, as always, I will be back for the second and last part na sa ako ang discussion on this topic nato on man's search for purpose. Okay, so anyway, 9H, I'll be back tomorrow to do just that. Thank you for listening. Hopefully na-aray na sabtan. Enjoy the rest of the day and I'll see you guys then. Thank you everyone. Goodbye, 9H. Ingat mo always.